Hello and welcome to the Run Like a T-Rex YouTube channel. A bit of a different one today. So just going to do a little bit. It's obviously Mental Health Awareness Week, so just wanted to do a few bits on that really. Just some of the highlights, some of the benefits that I've found through running and being a member of the running community. So yeah, I've never particularly been the most self-confident, or I've kind of struggled with self-esteem quite a lot in the past in terms of my natural default position is to assume people don't like me. I've come to terms with it a little bit more, and likelihood that people generally probably don't think like that, but it's when I have tougher times and I call them cloud days, where I just feel like I can't shake these sort of nagging feelings and the absolute worst sort of things that you've got within yourself in terms of your own self-esteem, or things that make you feel a bit more anxious, or less confident about, and the bits that sort of the nagging doubts you have in the back of your head. But yeah, it's one of those. So I've never particularly, until sort of recent last couple of years, I've never particularly liked myself. I went through a lot of the high school sort of not feeling like I fit in, or not feeling like people liked me or were interested, or I've never had a massive particularly big group of friends and stuff in the past. Sort of a smaller, sort of closer group of friends, but yeah, it's always felt slightly judged, and you always like I think it's probably human nature. You're always comparing your lowlights to everybody else's highlights. Social media is only making that worse. I dread to think how I would have felt as a teenager growing up in today's era. Thankfully, smartphones and social media weren't a thing when I was going through school. So, it's and I can kind of struggle like with a bit of social anxiety now, particularly more since COVID. So I don't go to stuff like my work's Christmas dues anymore, because they just sort of fill me with dread in terms of I feel really anxious in the moment, like leading up to it, and then I've just assumed people would have a much better time if I wasn't there, because I just sort of in my chest I just don't really like it, and people think I've gone in the past where people have assumed, sort of kind of thought I was a bit ignorant because I've not spoken to them. But when I'm really struggling, I will literally assume I'm going to ruin someone's day if I'm speaking to them. So I don't. I'm kind of aware of that now, and it's sort of I know I'm being kind of irrational, and I probably go a little bit too far the other way, because I am genuinely friendly. I care a lot about people, and I just want to get on with people and look after them, particularly those closest to me. So I probably go a bit too much. I could be a bit of a chatterbox and all that kind of stuff. But I think I'd much rather be that end of the spectrum than it's a bit of an ongoing battle trying to make sure I'm, can feel a bit socially awkward at times, because I overdo it and then realise I'm overdoing it, and then I'm sort of constantly in my head. So it's it's one of those. So I'm exceptionally lucky. I've not really had any major mental health issues in the past. They're just things that I'm constantly going on, trying to work on with myself as a dad and a husband, and trying to set a good example for my children, so I'm not passing on my issues to my children. That's a vital thing. I'm adamant I'm never going to do, because they're incredible, and I want them to know how incredible they are. So hopefully they don't have any of those lower confidence moments as they're growing up, because I genuinely think they can make the world a better place. They've got such an incredible outlook on life, and I hope they never lose that. But obviously the nature of we all feel that sort of runner's high, that endorphin buzz after exercise. So running's really helped. It's sort of you feel like that. You feel a bit more energised. So being a bit fitter, fitting into your clothes a little bit better, and all that kind of stuff, or going down as clothes size always helps. You feel a little bit better about yourself, and like it's worthwhile. But then you tag onto that the community aspect of it. My running club are incredible. I don't think they quite realise how much they've really helped me in the last 18 months I've been with them. It's a relatively short time. But yeah, massive shout out to the Massey Ferguson running club, because they just welcomed me with open arms from day one, made me feel really welcome, really involved and all that kind of stuff, and like I'm valued, and people are genuinely happy to see me on a training night and all that kind of stuff, which for someone who's sort of had those nagging doubts in the past, it kind of erodes all that away, and you feel like you're part of the gang and part of the crew. That's all anybody really wants a lot of the time. So yeah, it's I can't put a big enough emphasis on just how much the community aspect is. Obviously the Instagram and the YouTube that I've done, I've tried to do this to try and boost my own self-confidence with bits and push myself out my comfort zone and do things I wouldn't ordinarily do. They've been yeah, it's all helped, and you know, complete strangers who just so happen to be runners and follow, so positive and engaging and supportive, but genuinely it's not like over the top and like vapid or anything like that. It's, you know, people are genuinely like, you know, really well done and all that kind of stuff, and want to find out more about how you're getting on and all that kind of stuff. It's brilliant. I've never met a community like it. It's they're incredible. So yeah, I want to try and pay that forward. So if anyone is ever struggling or need a bit of support or just a friendly ear, I hope people know that I'm always here. So yeah, but I suppose it's one of the things I just want to highlight is being able to speak to people, and I'm really lucky. My wife's incredible. I opened up a few years ago about some of the bits about basically feeling like I would ruin people's day by talking to them, and realising how sort of daft I was, and just making me feel loved and wanted and valued. You know, she's made me a much better person. So I'm going to hopefully spend the rest of my life repaying that. It's interesting. I listened to the Diary of a CEO podcast, and Jimmy Carr was on it again the other week. He's quite a good listen, so even if you don't particularly like his comedy, I think he's very articulate and very intelligent and quite a deep thinker. And he said quite a lot about if your self-esteem can be driven by internal influences rather than external. So your character, in terms of who you know you are as a person, your values, how you try and go about daily life, drive your self-esteem through that rather than external influences, what people think of you. Everybody wants to be respected, but essentially that's not something you can control. So it's something I'm trying to drive in terms of just reassuring. If I have those bits, it's like, you know what, you're doing your best as a dad, a husband, a manager, an employee, brother, son, you know, all the rest of it, uncle, clubmate. We're all trying, and generally most people don't go into each day trying to annoy other people or not look after each other or be selfish and all those sorts of things. So it's those realisations. But yeah, the importance of talking and being open. Make sure you do it, because you're not alone, and there's plenty of people out there who professional organisations who will be able to support you should you need it. But yeah, just the old adage of a problem shared is a problem halved is really true. So make sure I'll put some bits in terms of good contact numbers should you feel you need it at the end of this video. But yeah, please reach out if you are struggling, because it's important. There's only one of you in the world, and you're the world's best at being you, and that is enough. So yeah, I think that's probably the tone I'd like to leave you on, rather than keep you waffling on. You know, you bring value. Everybody brings value to the world. It might not be the world as a whole. It might be your world, your little corner of the world, your family, your friends, your community. Don't waste it.